Open the pages of an old cookbook, and you are opening a time capsule. You will find recipes with strange names, forgotten ingredients, and instructions written for a world without microwaves or frozen dinners. Some of these dishes were once household staples. They graced Sunday tables, community suppers, and holiday feasts. But today, they survive only in the fading ink of old cookbooks. Join me as we explore 20 dishes surviving only in old cookbooks, recipes that time nearly erased, but still whisper stories from the kitchens of the past. Introduction: food history is not just about what we eat, but about what we leave behind. Every generation has its favorites, but some recipes vanish as tastes change. The following dishes once meant comfort, celebration, or survival. Some may sound strange, others mouth-watering, but all deserve to be remembered. 1. Calf's head soup. In the 19th century, wasting no part of an animal was common. Calf's head soup was exactly what it sounds like. A boiled calf's head used to make a rich broth, thickened with vegetables and barley. For families, this was considered a delicacy, though to us today it feels unsettling. Cookbooks of the 1800s praised it for both nourishment and thrift. 2. Oyster pie. Before oysters became expensive, they were common food for working families. Oyster pie combined the briny seafood with cream, butter, and pastry, baked until golden. It was a staple in old church cookbooks and community potluck recipes, often served during holidays. 3. Mock turtle soup. When real turtle meat was scarce, cooks improvised. Calf's head, organ meats, and seasonings mimicked turtle's flavor. This dish appears in Victorian cookbooks and was once considered an elegant first course at fine dinners. 4. Vinegar pie. During times when fruit was scarce, vinegar pie mimicked the tang of lemon pie. Eggs, sugar, butter, and vinegar created a custard-like filling. It was a classic Great Depression dessert, proof of ingenuity when fresh produce was hard to find. 5. Tomato aspic. A true relic of mid-20th century cookbooks. Tomato aspic was a savory gelatin made with tomato juice, celery, and seasonings. It was molded into fancy shapes and served with lettuce. Today it seems odd, but in its era, it was a symbol of sophistication. 6. Chicken a la king. This creamy chicken dish, mixed with mushrooms, peppers, and sherry, appeared in cookbooks of the early 1900s. Served on toast or in pastry shells, it was considered luxurious. While you may still find it occasionally, it has largely disappeared from modern kitchens. 7. Pork cake. Strange as it sounds, pork cake was a spiced cake enriched with ground pork fat. The fat made the cake moist and preserved it. It was especially popular in pioneer and Civil Warrior cookbooks. 8. Codfish balls. Made from salted cod, mixed with potatoes and fried. Codfish balls were common in New England cookbooks. Salted fish was a pantry staple before refrigeration, making this dish a thrifty and filling family meal. 9. Blancmange. Blancmange was a molded dessert made from milk, sugar, and gelatin, often flavored with almond or rosewater. It appears in many Victorian cookbooks where it was considered elegant, though today it has been replaced by puddings and custards. 10. Jellied tongue. Yes, tongue encased in gelatin. This was a delicacy in late 19th and early 20th century cookbooks. It may seem unappetizing today, but it reflected the era's fascination with molded foods and nose-to-tail eating. 11. Charlotte Russe. A beautiful dessert of sponge cake lined with cream and fruit, Charlotte Russe was a showpiece in many old cookbooks. It is rarely made today, though in its time it was beloved at holiday feasts. 12. Mulligatawny soup. Borrowed from Indian cuisine and adapted by Victorian cooks. This spiced soup often included chicken, rice, and curry powder. It appears in many 19th century cookbooks, but slowly faded from American kitchens. 13. Floating island. A dessert of poached meringue, floating on custard. Floating island was an elegant dish featured in French-influenced cookbooks. It was delicate, sweet, and beautiful, but fussy to make, which is why it largely disappeared. 14. Corn dodgers. Think of these as rustic cornbread nuggets. Corn dodgers were fried or baked lumps of cornmeal batter, eaten by pioneers and Civil War soldiers. They were cheap, filling, and easy to make without fancy equipment. 15. Ragout of mutton adult sheep was once common in American kitchens, appearing in many 19th century cookbooks. Ragustas flavored with onions, herbs, and wine were hearty, though today mutton is rarely eaten. 16 syllabub, a frothy sweet drink dessert made by mixing cream, sugar, and wine or cider. Popular in colonial cookbooks, syllabub was both refreshing and indulgent. It blurred the line between beverage and dessert, making it a fascinating lost recipe. 17 liver pudding cookbooks of the South frequently included liver pudding, a spread made from pork liver and spices. It was eaten on bread or crackers and valued for thrift and flavor. Today, only a few regional variations remain. 18. Apple tansey. An old colonial dish where sliced apples were fried in butter, sprinkled with sugar, and cooked like an omelet with eggs. It appears in many 18th and 19th century cookbooks, but has vanished from modern kitchens. 19. Fish custard. This unusual dish blended fish with eggs, cream, and seasonings, baked until set. Though odd to us, it reflected the creativity of cooks in using limited ingredients. 20. Transparent pie. Originating in Kentucky, transparent pie was similar to pecan pie without the nuts, just butter. Sugar, eggs, and cream baked into a sweet custard. It appears in many Southern cookbooks but has nearly disappeared outside of its region. Cultural reflection. These 20 dishes remind us of how much food reflects history. Old cookbooks tell stories of survival, thrift, elegance, and experimentation. They show us what families valued, what was available, and what creativity meant in the kitchen. Some dishes disappeared because ingredients became rare. Others faded because tastes changed, and some were simply too time-consuming for modern life. Which of these forgotten dishes would you bring back? Would you dare to try tomato aspic pork cake or calf's head soup? Or would you rather taste the sweeter side with vinegar pie or transparent pie? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear your take. And if you enjoyed this journey through the recipes hidden in old cookbooks, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another taste of food history.